you'll have twice the patience. You'll have twice the patience that the capacity was designed for, meaning you will not have the beds and the ventilators and the staff to accommodate, you believe, by a factor of 2.
Yeah, well, see, once you go to overcapacity, it's all of the above, right? Actually, the beds are the easiest thing to find. You wouldn't think of it, but it's easiest to find the beds. It's the equipment, because now you have every state trying to buy the same equipment, and you have countries all across the globe. Yeah, the PPE, the ventilators, et cetera. And it's the staff. The staff is getting exhausted. I had one nurse say to me, more than physically exhausted, I'm emotionally exhausted. You know, this is weeks, and this will go on for weeks. And you have people showing up into really dangerous situations. They don't know if they're going to contract the virus, if they're going to bring it home. Many people are dying, and this is going to go on for weeks. So that's a whole new stress on a staff.
And the worst is yet to come. PPE is going to be a big deal. As some may know, may not know, the governor put out a call today that, hey, if this isn't happening in a bad way in your community or even in your state, come help us. And that is really a clarion call for the need to be calling out anybody who can come to help. It'll be interesting to see who responds. And the president said something today that I want your take on. The answer that you've given so far, you said you don't know what he means. But I want you to think about it a little bit more. Let's play the sound about what the president suggested might be happening with some of the equipment that we are all desperate to find for our healthcare professionals.
It's a New York hospital, it's packed all the time. How do you go from 10 to 20 to 300,000, 10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different? Something's going on, and you ought to look into it as reporters. Where are the masks going? Are they going out the back door? How do you go from 10,000 to 300,000? And we have that in a lot of different places. So somebody should probably look into that.
Now, you said, I don't know what he means. You know what he means. He's saying that somebody's stealing this PPE stuff, or that something's being done with it that is wrong, which is the implication is, I'm doing the right thing. I'm getting them the right things in New York. I don't know what they're doing with them. That's the implication. What's your response?
Yeah, my response is, first of all, if I say I don't know what he means, you can't tell me that, yes, I do know what he means. You might think.
What do you think he could? What do you think he could mean, other than that?
He could mean, I don't know. It's a very vague thing. It went out the back door. I don't know. What do you mean?
Went out the back door. What is it? A stray cat? What do you? It didn't go out the back door. He's saying somebody's taking.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the door. Well, maybe that's what he means, but I don't know. It's a very vague reference. You should ask the president. But look, the exponential increase in the PPE is real, right? Almost in the hospitals now, there's COVID PPE, non-COVID PPE. Everybody's wearing COVID PPE because you don't know who has COVID, you don't know who doesn't have COVID. Every time they see a patient, they have to change their PPE. So yes, the burn rate of the PPE is much, much higher. So I think when the president says it's an incredible increase, I think he's right. If you are right by what you thought he meant when he said out the back door, as if it is being stolen or misused, if that's what he meant, then he should say that, ask for an investigation, and that's how you handle that. If that's what he meant, which is what you think he meant.
I don't know what else he could mean. But your point is taken, which is it's about the burn rate. Okay. He may not understand the facts yet. He may not want to accept it. It's a way of hedging against the need, great as it is. But this is something that this president does. He's done it to you a few times. You know, he goes back and forth about whether or not you're good or bad. Right now, you're good. Poll numbers came out, said, and he's very responsive to poll numbers. And they say you're popular now because of how you're doing this. So he weaponizes it and says, you know what he should do? He should run for president, this guy, Cuomo. He'd be better than Biden, this guy, Cuomo, but I'd beat him too. Let me ask you something. With all of this adulation that you're getting for doing your job, are you thinking about running for president? Tell the audience.
No. No.
No, you won't answer?
No, I answered. The answer is no.
No, you're not thinking about it?
Sometimes it's one word. I said no.
Have you thought about it?
No,
Are you open to thinking about it?
no,
Might you think about it at some point?
no.
How can you know what you might think about at some point right now?
Because I know what I might think about and what I won't think about. But you're a great interviewer, by the way.
Appreciate it. Learn from the best. The point is this. What do you think
Thank
of
you.
him trying to play you against Biden? That's what's going on here. He's trying to say Joe Biden is weak. Look, even Cuomo is stronger than he is, and he's not even running. What's your response?
Again, that's your interpretation of what you think the president was saying. I know Joe Biden many, many years. I worked with him when he was vice president. He has been a tremendous asset to the state of New York when he was vice president with President Obama. So I've worked with him on a professional level. I know him very well personally. I can't say enough good things about Joe Biden. So I think he's a great public servant. I think he has been extraordinary on a number of levels. I think he's a good man. I think he has a good heart. I think he has a good soul. I think he's well-meaning. He's knowledgeable as heck. He has wisdom. And I think he's a leader. You know, at one point, Chris, it comes down to a simple concept. It's about leadership, right? The experience, the wisdom, the capacity to do the job. Not just think about it, not just talk about it, not just tweet about it, do the job. And Joe Biden is a guy who does the job for real Americans, right? We grew up,
Right.
We're middle class New Yorkers. We relate to him that way. He relates to people all across the country that way. And his sense of connectivity, his sense of capacity, you put all that together, and he's the real deal.
Well, we'll see. He's got to get through his primary. There's a long race to go. We'll see how this plays for the president. Two quick things. One, what do you still need in terms of the urgency? Where are you on ventilators? Where are you on PPE? Where are you in terms of being up to where you need to be because of what you think is coming in context of Tony Fauci telling America today the sober reality that we could lose 6 digits in terms of the death toll in this disease, at least 100,000. What do you still need?
Well, if Tony Fauci is looking at the numbers, right? And that's why I respect him, and that's why I like to talk to him. Everybody has a theory, everybody has an idea, including you. I like to talk to Fauci. He has numbers, he has facts. We, in New York, you'll have different curves in different places around the country, right? Because the virus moves faster in some areas. It moves very fast in New York because we're a very dense area, we're very intense, we're on top of one another, so the virus moves fast. We are still on our way up the mountain of the curve. We hadn't hit the curve. One of the things we're doing now, I brought all the hospitals across the state together. First time ever. And I said, look, we're no longer New York City hospitals, Long Island hospitals, public hospitals, private hospitals, upstate hospitals. We're one hospital system. And we're going to operate that way. And we're going to share equipment. We're going to share staff. We're going to share resources. All the fiefdoms are broken down. We're going to have to make that entire healthcare system work because we're still on our way up the mountain.
Right.
The apex is anywhere from 6 days to 21 days away, depending on who you listen to. The apex can either be 1.5 times the capacity of the hospital system or 3 times the capacity of the hospital system, depending on which projection you reach. So I want to prepare for that apex because this virus has been ahead of us every step of the day, Christopher. We have never gotten ahead of this virus. And you never win fighting the last battle. And we have to get ahead of it. And the next encounter where we meet the enemy is on the top of the mountain at that apex. And that's what we have to be ready for.
Understood. Now, you've been really giving people a lot of comfort about recognizing the difficulties of staying at home, making an effort, obviously, to be home. You got your kids up there with you. You're keeping them close. You know, you said something about yourself where you said, you know, I'm not really good at cooking and, you know, I've had to learn and do stuff with the kids. I don't know why you take your shot at that. I mean, you know, just because you don't cook. I mean, Mom shares her secrets about how to make sauce. Very few people. I mean, you shouldn't criticize yourself that you're not one of the people that Mom saw as worthy to, you know, teach how to cook and make tomato sauce.
Well, look, I'm sure she would have. It's just that you spent so much more time in the kitchen, Chris, than I did. you were just available to her. You know, you had that always like mom's little helper in the kitchen. I really respect that. So I think it's because you were there and always underfoot.
Yeah, see, I don't see it that way.
How many? I mean,
I
you
don't see it
spent
that way.
years in the kitchen when you think of it.
I don't see it that way. I didn't spend years
Well,
in the
I didn't
kitchen,
mean,
but
I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean
well,
to
I
offend
think maybe you
in
did,
any
but
way.
that's
I think
okay.
it was
There's no
great
offense taken.
that
There's
you
no
helped-
offense taken.
No,
But what I'm saying is,
please. That you helped mom in the kitchen was a beautiful thing. I had to do work.
I didn't help mom
you
in
know?
the kitchen.
Like, look at
You're saying
look
something a
now.
little different. She taught me things
Yeah.
that she
By the way-
chose not to
Yeah.
teach you, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to play the sound.
May I ask you a question?
But I just, hold on,
Can I
hold
just
on one
ask you a
second.
question?
You have
Where
a
are
moment.
you?
I'm having a,
Where are you? Can I ask
Where
you,
am
where
I?
are you?
I'm in
I
the
don't
process of making a
recognize
point,
where
is
you
where
are.
I am. I'm in my basement.
But where are you physically?
I'm in
Oh,
my
you're in your
basement. That's what I
basement.
just said. Yeah, that's where I am.
Oh, you're in your basement. I see. Well, you spend a lot of time there, right? Christina says she sends you there a lot. So kitchen and basement, that's where you spend your
Listen.
life. Okay.
Here's what I'm trying
Go
to
ahead.
say.
Did you
I'm
have
in the
a question?
basement because this is where I had the availability to do this. Right now, I need to be working at home. That's why I'm here. But mom, you don't have to play the sound. But last night, I was doing what I do for my family, which is make my mother's sauce. She taught me how to make the sauce, which is something that is very coveted. And she said, I can only teach he, not she, he who will carry it on best. And you will see the B-roll of me cooking. My mother called me and said, and I was listening to her favorite, one of her favorite songs, Andrea Bocelli, and you'll see I had a picture of her behind me, as I always do when I'm cooking in the kitchen. I always have a picture of my mother there to remember our bond and how I care for her, that she taught me how to make the sauce. She didn't teach anybody else. And she called me and said, is Andrew there? I said, no, Mom, I'm all alone here out on the island with my family. And she said, where is he? And I said, he's up in Albany in the house with the big gates and the attack dog. And she said, oh, that's too bad. And I said, it's okay, Mom. I love him and I'll make sauce for him too. And she started to cry and then I said goodbye.
Yeah.
That's
no,
what happened.
You've always been good at You've always been good at manipulation. You've always been the meatball of the family. And look, some of us have to work, right? I don't have the luxury of working 1 hour a day. God bless you.
Well,
I'm happy
first
for
of all,
you.
it's a
But
full-time
most of us
job.
work more than 1 hour a day. That's all I'm
You
saying.
certainly have been working a lot. And I'll tell you what, be careful. Not just because you look like you've been burning a lot of hours, but you show up in a lot of places. And I know it gives comfort to people. But if you get sick, God forbid, there's only one of you right now. And if you get sick, it's a problem. So I know you like to run around with your ill-fitting jacket, but just remember that. You got to stay healthy. I need your big brother because I love you and you're the center of the family, but you're the center of the state right now also.
Yeah, but I have to do my job, and Mama didn't raise an armchair general in me anyway. I'm not going to sit in my basement. I say to the National Guard every time before I go out there, I'll never ask you to go anywhere that I won't go. I'll never ask you to do anything that I won't do. So I need to be out there doing my job. You stay where you are in the basement. I think it's very nice. I love you. Be safe. Call me sometime.
I have to be honest. This basement puts me in a bad position, and I am sitting in an armchair right now. Those are two terrible facts. But you're doing the right thing. You're talking to the audience. You're being open to the media. I know you're working your tail off for everybody. I love you. I respect you. Stay safe. I'll talk to you soon. I'll send you some sauce.
Love you, brother.
Mom's secret.
Love you.
favorite.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Love.
Meatball. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. It's a term of endearment
Okay.
in Italian circles. To be the meatball,
Yes.
you can please make him.
Yeah.
Please hang up on him now. Thank you very much. He has a lot of work to do. Is he gone? Is he gone?